How are you guys doing? Today is Thursday, January 21st, 2021, out here in this quarantine. I'm James Sims, and for this episode of The Elite, I'm going to walk through the elite performances from the elite players and from just the elite performances and the elite matchups from yesterday, Wednesday, January 20th, 2021, and I'm going to walk you through what happened yesterday, and I'm going to preview everything that's going on today so you have a good idea for what's going on in the world of sports as of right now. So, I'm going to start with the NBA, starting in Cleveland, because the NBA season is starting to pick up some steam. Starting in Cleveland, the Cleveland Cavaliers hosted the Brooklyn Nets, and for the very first time in NBA history, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden were all starting on the same basketball floor in the same game. But in this one, the Cleveland Cavaliers would end up winning in double overtime, 147-135 to pick up their seventh win of the season over a very formidable Brooklyn Nets team. For the Brooklyn Nets, in their first game with Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden starting on the floor at the same time, the power forward Jeff Green would finish with 16 points and 7 rebounds in 45 minutes, shooting 5 for 8 from the field and 4 for 7 from 3. Their elite starting shooting guard, James Harden, would finish with 21 points, 10 rebounds, and 12 assists. In 51 minutes, he shot 6 for 14 from the field, 3 for 6 from 3, and 6 for 6 from the line. Their elite point guard, Kyrie Irving, would finish with 37 points in 48 minutes as he shot 15 for 28 from the field, 3 for 8 from 3, and 4 for 5 from the line, as he also added 3 assists and 3 blocks to go along with 4 turnovers as well. And the Brooklyn Nets leading scorer would be their goated power forward, Kevin Durant, who would finish with 38 points, 12 rebounds, 8 assists, and 4 blocks in 50 minutes as he shot 12 for 25 from the field, 3 for 9 from 3, and 11 for 13 from the free throw line. And for the Cleveland Cavaliers, off the bench, their shooting guard, Damian Dotson, would finish with 15 points on the night off the bench as he would end up playing 25 minutes. And he shot 6 for 12 from the field, 3 for 6 from 3. Their power forward off the bench, Taurean Prince, would finish with 17 points off the bench, as he also put up 7 rebounds in 32 minutes as he shot 5 for 9 from the field, 3 for 5 from 3, and 4 for 4 from the line. Their starting power forward, Larry Nance Jr., would finish with 15 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, and 4 steals in 45 minutes as he shot 5 for 10 from the field and 3 for 5 from 3. Their starting small forward, Cedi Osman, would finish with 25 points, 7 rebounds, and 7 assists in 50 minutes as he shot 9 for 17 from the field. And the Cavs' leading scorer would be their starting point guard, Colin Sexton, out of Alabama, who would finish with 42 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists in 38 minutes as he shot 16 for 29 from the field and 5 for 11 from 3 for the game. With this win, the Cleveland Cavaliers are 7-7, which ties them with the Atlanta Hawks for the 6th best record in the East. And with this loss, the Brooklyn Nets are 9-7, which has them sitting with the 5th best record in the NBA as it currently stands. Jumping out into Indianapolis, the Pacers were able to beat the Dallas Mavericks, or the Pacers hosted the Mavericks, and the Mavericks were able to beat the Pacers 124-112, especially after outscoring Indiana in the fourth quarter by 11. For the Pacers, their starting small forward, Doug McDermott, would finish with 16 points and 8 rebounds in 34 minutes as he shot 6 for 16 from the field. Their starting power forward, Domantas Sabonis, would finish with 25 points and 10 rebounds in 41 minutes as he shot 9 for 15 from the field and 3 for 4 from 3. And the Pacers' leading scorer would be their starting point guard, Malcolm Brogdon, who finished with 26 points and 5 assists in 38 minutes, shooting 9 for 20 from the field and 5 for 5 from the line. And then for the Dallas Mavericks, off the bench, their point guard, Trey Burke, would finish with 22 points in 32 minutes, shooting 9 for 16 from the field and 4 for 8 from 3. Their starting small forward, Tim Hardaway Jr., would finish with 19 points in 34 minutes as he shot 6 for 13 from the field, 3 for 6 from the three-point line, and a perfect 4 for 4 from the line. Their starting point guard, Jalen Brunson, out of Villanova, would finish with 19 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists in 34 minutes as he shot 8 for 13 from the field. Their leading scorer would be their starting power forward, Kristaps Porzingis, who finished with 27 points and 13 rebounds in 32 minutes, shooting 12 for 15 from the field. And then for the Mavericks, their elite point guard, Luka Doncic, would finish with 13 points, 12 rebounds, and 12 assists in 38 minutes as he shot 5 for 15 from the field, 0 for 3 from 3, and 3 for 4 from the free throw line. With this win, the Dallas Mavericks are 7-7, which has them sitting with the Denver Nuggets for the 9th best record in the West. And with this loss, the Pacers are 8-6, which is currently the 4th best record in the West. And then looking out to Philadelphia, because this is a pretty big game, the Philadelphia 76ers hosted the Boston Celtics and were able to beat the Celtics 117-109 after outscoring the Boston Celtics by 14 in the fourth quarter to overcome their 6-point deficit and pick up a very big win at home. For the Boston Celtics, their center Daniel Theis off the bench would finish with 23 points and 10 rebounds in 27 minutes as he shot 10 for 11 from the field. Their starting point guard, Marcus Smart, would finish with 25 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists in 34 minutes as he shot 10 for 19 from the field. Their leading scorer would be their starting shooting guard, Jaylen Brown, who finished with 26 points and 5 rebounds in 34 minutes as he shot 10 for 24 from the field. And then also for the Celtics, their elite starting point guard, Kemba Walker, would finish with 19 points and 6 assists in 22 minutes as he shot 6 for 15 from the field, 5 for 9 from the 3, and a perfect 2 for 2 from the line. And then for the Philadelphia 76ers off the bench, their shooting guard, Shake Milton, would finish with 16 points in 29 minutes as he shot 4 for 10 from the field and 6 for 6 from the line as he shot 2 for 2 from the 3-point line. Their starting power forward, Tobias Harris, would finish with 22 points and 5 assists in 40 minutes as he shot 9 for 17 from the field. Their elite point guard, Ben Simmons, would finish with 11 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, and 2 steals. And 5 fouls in 34 minutes as he shot 2 for 5 from the field and 7 for 10 from the line. And then the 76ers leading scorer would be their elite starting center, Joel Embiid, who finished with 42 points and 10 rebounds in 33 minutes, shooting 12 for 19 from the field, 1 for 5 from 3, and 17 for 21 from the free throw line. With this win, the Philadelphia 76ers are 10-5 and currently holding the best record in the East. And with this loss, the Boston Celtics are sitting in third place with an 8-5 record as they are half a game behind the second place Milwaukee Bucks, who's in between them and the Sixers. Jumping out to Atlanta, the Atlanta Hawks hosted the Detroit Pistons and were able to beat the Pistons 123-115 in overtime. Big shot from Trae Young to give the Hawks the eventual win as the Detroit Pistons fall yet again in a game where they probably could have won. And also for the Atlanta Hawks, they were able to overcome a big comeback. They were able to outscore the Pistons by 14 in the fourth quarter to tie it up and send it into overtime for this big win in the first place. For the Detroit Pistons, their starting shooting guard, Wayne Ellington, would finish with 16 points in 33 minutes, shooting 5 for 11 from the field and 4 for 9 from 3. Their starting small forward, Jeremy Grant, would be their leading scorer with 32 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists in 41 minutes, shooting 12 for 22 from the field and 6 for 7 from the free throw line. Their elite power forward, Blake Griffin, would finish with 17 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists in 39 minutes as he shot 5 for 10 from the field, 2 for 4 from 3, and 5 for 5 from the line. And then for the Atlanta Hawks, their starting shooting guard, Kevin Huerter, would finish with 17 points and 5 rebounds, as well as 4 assists in 39 minutes as he shot 6 for 12 from the field and 3 for 4 from 3. Their starting center, Clint Capella, would finish with 27 points and 26 rebounds, as well as 5 blocks in 39 minutes as he shot 10 for 18 from the field and 7 for 12 from the free throw line. Their starting power forward, John Collins, would finish with 31 points and 11 rebounds in 43 minutes as he shot 13 for 24 from the field and 4 for 5 from the line. And the Atlanta Hawks leading scorer would be their elite starting point guard, Trae Young, who finished with 38 points, 4 rebounds, 10 assists, and a couple of steals in 44 minutes as he shot 11 for 26 from the field, 3 for 5 from 3, and 13 for 19 from the free throw line. With this win, the Atlanta Hawks are 7-7, which ties them with the Cleveland Cavaliers for the sixth best record in the East. And with this loss, the Pistons are 3-11. They are the only team in the Eastern Conference and one of three teams, including the Timberwolves and the Kings, with double-digit losses so far this season. They're the only team with 11 losses this year. So right now, the Pistons are currently sporting the worst record in basketball. Jumping out to Tampa Bay, the Toronto Raptors hosted the Miami Heat, and the Heat were able to beat the Raptors 111-102 after outscoring the Toronto Raptors by 11 in the second half after trailing by 2 in the first half. For the Toronto Raptors, their shooting guard Terrence Davis would finish with 16 points on the day. Off the bench, he did so in 24 minutes as he also added 4 rebounds and 3 steals. In 24 minutes as he shot 6 for 12 from the field and 4 for 9 from 3. Their starting small forward, OG Anunoby, would finish with 18 points and 7 rebounds in 40 minutes as he shot 6 for 12 from the field and 4 for 8 from 3. Their starting shooting guard, Fred VanVleet, would lead the team in scoring as he had 24 points, 5 rebounds, and 9 assists in 37 minutes, shooting 7 for 18 from the field and 7 for 8 from the free throw line. And then their elite power forward, Pascal Siakam, would finish with 18 points and 6 rebounds in 37 minutes as he shot 7 for 15 from the field, 0 for 3 from 3, and 4 for 4 from the line. For the Miami Heat, off the bench, their shooting guard Kendrick Nunn would finish with 28 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists in 35 minutes as he shot 9 for 12 from the field, 4 for 6 from 3, and 6 for 6 from the line. He led the entire team in scoring. Their starting power forward, Kelly Olynyk, would finish with 15 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists in 28 minutes as he shot 5 for 10 from the field. Their starting point guard, Goran Dragic, would finish with 17 points, leading all starters. He had 17 points and 5 assists in 31 minutes, shooting 6 for 16 from the field. And then for the Heat, their elite starting center, Bam Adebayo out of Kentucky, would finish with 14 points, 13 rebounds, and 7 assists in 34 minutes, shooting 6 for 14 from the field. With this win, the Miami Heat are currently 6-7, which has them sitting behind the Magic and the Knicks with the 10th best record in the East. And with this loss, the Toronto Raptors are 5-9, which is the 13th best or the 3rd worst record in the Eastern Conference. Jumping out to Minneapolis, the Minnesota Timberwolves hosted the Orlando Magic, and the Magic were able to beat the Timberwolves 97-96, a 1-point win after outscoring the Timberwolves by 4 points, or outscoring them by 10 points in the fourth quarter. For the Minnesota Timberwolves, their leading scorer would be their elite starting shooting guard, D'Angelo Russell, who finished with 19 points, 6 assists, as well as 2 rebounds and 2 blocks in 32 minutes, as he shot 7 for 17 from the field, 4 for 7 from 3, and he made his only free throw attempt of the game. For the Orlando Magic, their starting shooting guard, Evan Fournier, would finish with 24 points in 28 minutes, shooting 9 for 21 from the field and a perfect 4 for 4 from the line. And the Orlando Magic leading scorer would be their starting center, Nikola Vucevic, who finished with 28 points, 8 rebounds as well in 43 minutes, shooting 11 for 27 from the field, and 3 for 7 from 3 and 3 for 4 from the line. With this win, the Orlando Magic are 7-8, which ties them with the New York Knicks for the 8th best record in the East. And with this loss, the Minnesota Timberwolves are now 3-10, which has them sitting with the worst record in the entire West, and they are one of 2 teams with double-digit losses in the entire Western Conference, sharing that honor with the Sacramento Kings. Jumping out to Houston, the Houston Rockets hosted the Phoenix Suns, and the Suns were able to beat the Rockets 109-103 after outscoring Houston by 12 in the first half and kind of carrying that momentum through the end of the game. For the Houston Rockets, their starting center, Christian Wood, would finish with 20 points and 10 rebounds, as well as 2 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks in 34 minutes. He shot 8 for 18 from the field. Their starting shooting guard, Victor Oladipo, would be one of the team's leading scorers. He had 22 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists, as well as 3 steals in 31 minutes, shooting 7 for 22 from the field, and a perfect 7 for 7 from the line. And then also sharing scoring leader honors with him was their starting shooting guard, Eric Gordon, who finished with 22 points in 34 minutes, shooting 9 for 20 from the field. For the Phoenix Suns, Their starting center, DeAndre Ayton, would finish with 26 points and 17 rebounds and 5 blocks as well, as he led the team in scoring and blocks as well. He had 5 of the team's 11. And their elite starting point guard, Chris Paul, would finish with 13 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists in 31 minutes as he shot 4 for 9 from the field, 1 for 3 from 3, and 4 for 4 from the line. And their starting shooting guard, Devin Booker, would finish with 24 points and 5 rebounds in 35 minutes, shooting 10 for 18 from the field, 1 for 4 from 3, and 3 for 4 from the line. With this win, the Phoenix Suns are 8-5, which is the 4th best record in the West. And with this loss, the Rockets are 4-9, which is the 2nd worst record in the West as it currently stands. And then continuing on, going out to Oakland, the Golden State Warriors hosted the San Antonio Spurs and were able to beat the Spurs 121-99, especially after outscoring the Spurs by 19 in the first half. For the San Antonio Spurs, their starting small forward, DeMar DeRozan, would finish with 15 points in 25 minutes, shooting 3 for 8 from the field and a perfect 9 for 9 from the free throw line. And the Spurs' leading scorer would be their starting point guard, DeJounte Murray, who finished with 22 points and 6 rebounds, as well as a couple of steals in 30 minutes as he shot 9 for 16 from the field and 3 for 3 from the free throw line. For the Golden State Warriors, their starting shooting guard, Kelly Oubre Jr., would finish with 16 points and 9 rebounds in 31 minutes, shooting 4 for 11 from the field and 6 for 8 from the free throw line. Their starting center and the number 2 overall pick from the 2020 NBA draft, James Wiseman, would finish with 20 points and 6 rebounds in 25 minutes, shooting 8 for 11 from the field and 4 for 5 from the free throw line. And then their leading scorer would be their goated point guard, Stephen Curry, who finished with 26 points, 11 rebounds, and 7 assists in 31 minutes, shooting 10 for 17 from the field, 4 for 8 from 3, and 2 for 2 from the free throw line. With this win, the Golden State Warriors are currently sitting at 8-6, which ties them with the Portland Trailblazers for the 5th best record in the West. And with this loss, the San Antonio Spurs are 8-7, which has them sitting by themselves with the 8th best record in the West as the standings currently sit. And jumping up to the last game that was played last night, the Los Angeles Clippers hosted their in-state, in-division rival, the Sacramento Kings, and were able to beat the Kings 115-96 after outscoring Sacramento by 9 in the second and then 15 in the third. For the Sacramento Kings, their leading scorer would be their starting point guard, De'Aaron Fox, who had 25 points and 7 assists, as well as 6 turnovers in 34 minutes, as he shot 10 for 18 from the field, 2 for 4 from 3, and he shot 3 for 8 from the free throw line. For the Los Angeles Clippers, there's elite starting shooting guard Paul George would finish with 19 points, 7 rebounds, and 12 assists, as well as 6 turnovers in 32 minutes, as he shot 8 for 14 from the field, 2 for 5 from 3, and 1 for 2 from the line. And the Los Angeles Clippers' leading scorer would be their goated small forward, Kawhi Leonard, who finished with 32 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, and 6 steals in 35 minutes, shooting 13 for 22 from the field, 3 for 5 from 3, and a perfect 3 for 3 from the free throw line. With this win, the Los Angeles Clippers are 11-4, which ties them with the Los Angeles Lakers for the best record in the entire Western Conference. And with this loss, the Kings have the 3rd worst or the 13th best record in the entire West. They are one of 2 teams alongside the Minnesota Timberwolves that have double-digit losses as of right now. But that's where the NBA currently stands with its games. Looking out to what's going on today, because it is Thursday, looking out to the primetime matchups, they will be on TNT. At 7:30, the Bucks will host the Lakers as Giannis, the reigning back-to-back MVP, hosts the defending champs. That's going to be a big basketball game. And then at 10 o'clock, the Utah Jazz are going to host the New Orleans Pelicans on TNT. And then also at 10 o'clock, the Warriors are going to host the Knicks, the only game that's on tonight that isn't on prime time. But that's what the NBA is currently looking like on January 21st. Jumping out very quickly to college basketball to show you what's going on out there. Jumping into last night's performances, 8th-ranked Houston was able to beat unranked Tulsa at home 86-59 after outscoring Tulsa by 26 in the first half. Marcus Sasser would lead the way for Houston with his 26 points. With this win, Houston is 12-1. They are 7-1 in the American Conference. With this loss, Tulsa is 8-5 as they drop to 5-3 in the American Conference. Was 10th ranked Wisconsin was able to beat unranked Northwestern 68-52 behind Tyler Wall's 14 points and 6 rebounds. With this win, Wisconsin is 12-3. They are 6-2 in the Big Ten. With this loss, Northwestern is 6-7 as they drop to 3-6 in the Big Ten. Unranked Providence was able to go to 11th ranked Creighton and beat them 74-70 after outscoring Creighton by 5 in the first half. Nate Watson would lead the way for Providence with his 29 points and 6 rebounds. With this win, Providence is 8-6, is they are 4-4 in the Big East with this win, and with this loss, Creighton is 10-4 as they are now 6-3 in the Big East. Unranked Georgia Tech hosted 20th ranked Clemson, and they were able to beat Clemson 83-65 after outscoring Clemson by 9 points in both halves. Michael DeVoe would lead the way for Georgia Tech as he had 22 points and 6 assists. With this win, Georgia Tech is now 7-3 as they are now 3-1 in the ACC. With this loss, Clemson is now 9-3 as their ACC record drops to 3-3 on the season. And then looking forward to today's matchups. At 9 o'clock, it'll be 2 ranked opponents that are going to play today. 4th ranked Iowa is going to host unranked Indiana on FS1, and then unranked Cal is going to host 24th ranked UCLA on ESPNU. Looking out to what's going on with hockey, because of course hockey is getting started as well, as the season is starting to really pick up. The Oilers are able to beat the Maple Leafs 3-1 to get their second win of the season, as the Oilers goalie will lead the way with 25 saves of his own. The Sharks are able to beat the Blues 2-1 to grab their second win of the season. The Wild were able to beat the Ducks 3-2 to get their third win of the season. Eriksson would get a goal and an assist. The Canucks were able to beat the Canadiens to get their second win of the season, beating them in the shootout to get the 6-5 win. Toffoli would get 3 goals for Montreal, but Montreal would lose in this outing. And then the Golden Knights would stay undefeated after beating the Coyotes 5-2. Theodore would lead the way for Vegas as he had 2 goals from the defender position. But looking out to today, especially with today's primetime matchups, it looks as though at 7 o'clock, the Columbus Blue Jackets are going to host the Tampa Bay Lightning. And then at 9:30, the Vancouver Canucks are going to host the Montreal Canadiens on NBC Sports Network. So those are the games that are going to be on today. And then last but not least, looking out to what's going on with soccer, especially following yesterday's performances, yesterday's outings. Starting with the Premier League, Manchester City was able to beat Aston Villa 2-0, scoring both their goals in the second half to make the jump to second place in the Premier League, where they are currently 2 points behind Manchester United with 1 game in hand. They have that 1 game in hand. And speaking of Manchester United was able to beat Fulham 2-1 as their second goal would come from their elite French midfielder, Paul Pogba, in the 65th minute. With this win, Manchester United is currently sitting on top of the English Premier League with 1 more game played than Man City and 2 more points than them so far. But this is a very big win for Manchester United. Jumping out to Germany and the Bundesliga, the German champs, Bayern Munich, were able to beat FC Augsburg 1-0 as their only goal came in the 13th minute as their penalty kick came from their elite starting striker, Robert Lewandowski. With this win, Bayern Munich currently sits on top of the Bundesliga very comfortably by a good 4 points. And also the team that was quickly that was biting at their heels, RB Leipzig, was able to beat Union Berlin 1-0. So RB Leipzig is currently sitting second in that table, by about 3 points. And then currently continuing on, Juventus was able to beat Napoli in the Italian Supercoppa. Their first goal came from their goated Portuguese attacker, Cristiano Ronaldo, as he scored in the 64th minute to help Juventus advance to the next round. In the Spanish Copa del Rey, Alcoyana was able to beat Real Madrid to advance to the next round after winning in extra time in the 155th minute. So, of course, Real Madrid just eliminated from that competition completely. And that was a good amount of soccer that went on yesterday. But looking out to today, not many big matchups, but in the Premier League, Liverpool's going to host Burnley at 3 o'clock. As currently looking onto the Premier League, Liverpool is sitting in the 4th spot. With a win here, they can't see themselves move up, but they can see themselves sit pretty comfortably in the 4th spot, right behind Leicester City, because that's where Liverpool is sitting right about now. And also, Lazio is going to host Parma in the Italian Coppa Italia at 3:15. In the Spanish Copa del Rey, UD Cornella is going to host Barcelona at 3 o'clock, so that's going to be a matchup as well. Eibar is going to host Atletico Madrid at 3:30. So it's just a good amount of soccer from all angles. But with that said, I want to appreciate you guys for listening to this piece. Today is Thursday, January 21st, 2021. And surprisingly, today's my first day of class. So for my last semester of school, I want to thank everyone once again for listening to this piece. And I will get back to you once all these games are finished up tomorrow, as I preview what's going on as well. Thanks once again. I hope all is well, and I will catch you tomorrow. And with that said, I hope all is well, and peace out. I'll catch you tomorrow on Friday, January 22nd, 2021, out here in this quarantine. And I'm James Sims. Peace.